Just when America has reached a breaking point with division, visionary influencer Danni Benson's I'm Proud of You Sis Bro movement taps into the pulse and heartbeat of a culture radically torn. But this loving mom's voice of reason and calm has received national recognition.
How'd you balance having your children and always traveling with the Yankee organization?
When I became a dad, I said that I would always love like a mother.
I feel like I have to hide certain things or act a different way because I know some people or some kids feel like they have to.
As part of the Chapters Network, Benson brings a weekly show aired worldwide on YouTube and Facebook, and her message is creating positive change. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Hey everyone. Hi, happy hump day. How's everyone doing this week? The day is longer now. I don't know how you guys are doing, but daylight savings time just really threw me off this week. So I'm hoping everyone's body clock is catching up because I'm still a little bit tired, but hopefully this weekend my clock will be set to the new time of daylight savings time. But I want to say thank you so much for joining. I'm proud of you, sis. I am host Danni Benson, and I have an amazing guest to commemorate International Women's Month because there's so many amazing women in this world who are so doing it, and you might not even know their name. So I love bringing these women on my show because it gives other women, gems that they might need that they wouldn't get before, advice, all the things that we need so we can succeed. So I want to introduce this guest. Her name is Theresa Bowe. I want to give her her flowers. She's an author, motivational speaker. She also has a company that is like a nonprofit called Heals and Motivations, where she goes all over the country to inspire and motivate women just like me and you. She has a book called Mommy's Boyfriend, which dives into talking to your daughter, especially, or your son, about ways that you can bring up, this might be a little bit of taboo conversation, but molestation, making sure that your little babies know signs of if someone is making them feel uncomfortable, that they can always come to mommy or daddy or someone that they really trust to talk to about it. Because, in our society, 1 out of 4 people in our country has suffered some sort of molestation. So Theresa wrote this wonderful book that I want the world to know about because sometimes it goes on in our households, and because of embarrassment, we don't want to talk about it until we get into adulthood. So our objective is to talk about it now, or talk it to your babies now when they're small, so they don't have to carry that load of emotional baggage through adulthood, because sometimes that changes you if you have to carry it and not speak about it. But I'm here to give Miss Bowe her flowers. Theresa, thank you for coming on. Proud of you, sis. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a pleasure seeing you. Congratulations on all that you two are doing.
Yes, and congratulations to all the things that you are doing. I am just so proud of you. I mean, like, you juggle so much. So tell me, first of all, how do you do it? How do you juggle all these different entrepreneurships things that you do? Because you're also a realtor also.
Yes, I give all praises to the man above just for making me the woman that I am. But I have a drive and I have a why. And those two things alone will give you the strength, the courage, the energy, just anything that you need to just kind of just keep going. So because of what I've been through and who I am today, it's in me now.
So let me ask you a question. What have you been through to give you this drive and to give you this purpose in your life?
Okay. I'm just going to just jump right into my childhood. We're both from the same neck of the woods, but I watched my mom raise me off of survival. me being a woman, I understand what the difference is of needing somebody and wanting somebody. So because my mom needed someone, we had to suffer through a lot of things, and child molestation was one of them in my household that ran rampant. Unfortunately, I didn't even know my sisters and brothers were going through what it was that I was going through at the same time. But I did watch my sisters, become victims of crack and cocaine. My brothers were arrested for drug dealing. It was just a bad childhood. And me being able to actually leave New York, get a scholarship to Kansas City, Missouri, and just get to see different things. Just, I wasn't stuck with teen pregnancy, all the negative things that I did not want to be a part of. It just gave me the strength to just keep going and to figure out something different. I wanted to be an example. I wanted to do more. I was my mom's last child.
I mean, what an amazing story, because you could have followed your predecessors. You could have followed your sister. You could have followed your brother. I mean, especially when you're young like that, you don't even know what's really right from wrong with what they're doing. But you had the strength, with the love of God, to know that you wanted something better, or you wanted a different ending to your story. So you decided to leave that, which is amazing, because it takes a lot of courage to leave your family. Mm-hmm. So in going to school, what motivated you to be who you are right now? Did you meet mentors? Did something drive you to say, this is what I want to do? Because becoming an entrepreneur, especially from our generation, wasn't something that was talked about. So what gave you that drive to want to proceed in that direction?
Well, when you have nothing or you have no one to help you, you have to figure things out on your own. I knew that I did not want to be broke. I knew that I didn't want to be like what I left behind. And I did get to see different examples around me of working women and working men. And I got to see a roommate in college that actually went to work, had her own car, and she was doing this off of hard work. So I was like, listen, I want all of those things. What do I need to do? So I just literally jumped into work, Danni. When I tell you, I did my little work study jobs at college, but I stepped out and I started to become an entrepreneur. I got my real estate license at a young age because, once again, I got to see someone else sell a house, and then I got to see their commission. And I was like, wow, you can make $10,000 that quick off of selling a house, doing something beautiful and amazing, helping people. So it was just me getting to see, like you said, different people around me actually doing more and getting more. And I just knew I wanted the same thing.
And I totally get what you're saying, because if you're not sometimes people live in their bubble, right? They don't leave their area. They still have the same friends, which is fine, but they don't get to explore the world. So they sometimes think this is it until something happens in your life and you pop that bubble, and for some reason you just go someplace else, and you're like, wow, there's so much more to this world that I was never exposed to before. Sometimes one day I thought I wanted a small little house, because that's my parents, they were humble. They had a small little house, until one day I went to someone else's house and I was like, wow, there's homes like this. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want. So it's just being exposed. A lot of kids are not exposed. A lot of kids, unfortunately, are stuck where they're at, and they don't understand that there's something greater for them out there, and they just need to go to explore. So what gave you that courage, that you know what? I'm going to pop that bubble. I'm going to get out of my circumstance. I'm going to get out of my area, and I'm going to go someplace brand new to see what's out there, because I don't want to repeat this right here. What gave you that courage? Because a lot of people just stay around what they know.
I mean, it's exactly what you just said. When you see more, there's more out there. There's a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. So whoever is watching this, please Google it. It's the RAS. It's like the part of your brain. So what you focus on, you can actually manifest. So if you focus on negativity, what happens? You wake up and everything is negative. You focus on that car that you want. Once you leave that dealership, what happens? You drive up the street and you start to see the same car that you just focused your brain on. So I intentionally programmed my brain to want more, to see more, to do more. And that started from when I woke up in the morning, what I read, what I was doing every single day. Even the people that I started to be around, I chose my friends differently. I knew that certain friends will bring certain things. So I intentionally befriended people that can actually help me grow. So, like I said, I think everyone that's listening to this right here, you have to understand what you focus on, you pretty much can get. So, focus on positive things, focus on growth, focus on the things that you want, and just watch in a matter of time, you can get them.
And you know what? That's so right. I read this amazing book that I follow. It's called The Secret.
Mhm.
And it's like whatever you think will happen. That's because that's what you're attracting. And I always say one day we're all going to die. That's one thing that's going to happen in life. And we're going to realize that is a secret. Like,
Mhm.
even if bad things happen to you, try to find the good in it. Try to find like the positive in it. If you want something, and it happens to me all the time. Sometimes I call myself the queen of manifestation because I will literally see something and just think about it and just focus on it. And then for some reason, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but my body and my being just gravitates to it, and it actually does happen. And that's why I tell a lot of people all the time, even if you are in a negative circumstance, please find a positive way to get out of it, because sometimes negativity, what they say, misery likes company, right? Because I'm miserable, then I'm going to track all these miserable people around me, and we're going to be just drinking wine and just be miserable, right? But when you're around positive people, people who are movers, people who want more out of life, people who want more money out of life, if you're around those type of people, that too will be you, because you will be getting gems from them that you might not get from a circle that's very negative, or think that they can't get more out of life. That
Mhm.
whole misery circle, that becomes your circumstance because you start adapting what their views are. So
And
I just
Danny,
want to.
I'm sorry, it's just as simple as how much we all are on social media. I mean, who we are following, who you are following on a daily basis. A lot of us spend a lot of time on social media. I'm guilty. I have a timer on my Instagram that stops at 45 minutes in a day. And I'm like, wow, that's still a lot of time to be in other people's lives and business. So it's like, pay attention to that. I now follow people that's positive, that's talking about
Yes.
making money, that's talking about all of those things. So many of us will measure our own growth based off of what someone else is portraying on social media. And a lot of times it's not true. They put their best foot forward and they fabricate things to look good. So you got to pay attention to that as well. Just who are you following?
And that includes, like, no disrespect, because everyone has to make money. That includes like the blogs. Like, sometimes I feel that so many people are so heavily invested in like people's like lives, and they
Mhm.
they gravitate to the blogs, and and I understand it's like entertainment to them and stuff like that, but it is good to follow people that's going to make you more money. It is good that's going to follow people that have done things in life that brings them prosperity, brings them positivity. And those are the people that we should be following, because we should adapt what they're doing so we can have that too. Yes, blogs are great, but I think when you listen to a lot of gossip, sometimes you get so sucked into the gossip that you just are okay where you're at, because you feel like, oh, they're doing bad, so my life is not that bad, instead of following people just inspire you and push you more. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, what you read is important, music you listen to is important, positive people around you is important, people who've made money. Like, I like to surround myself with millionaires, because I'm like, okay, you're a millionaire, so you did something right. So I like to be around people that I
Mhm.
aspire to, because they always drop these gems that
Correct.
you might not get by a gossip blog. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, you got to think every great teacher needs another teacher to teach them something if they want to continue to grow. So if you connect yourself with people that's smarter, that have more, it's just about somebody pulling you. Some people are so comfortable with being the big fish in the small pond. And I'm just the opposite. I love to surround myself with people that is going to actually help me grow and show me things that I don't know.
They always say if you're the smartest person in that room, you shouldn't even be in that room, because you know
Yes.
so much already. So you definitely need to be in a room that you will just get more information, because every single day I learned something new. I learn something new every single day. And if you're not learning something new, I tell people all the time, then you're not doing yourself a service, because we're
Correct.
only here for a shorter period of time. So if you're just in a place of not a happy place, or you feel like you're defeated, or you don't like your job, or do something about it. I tell people that, yes, it's not easy, but take steps towards doing something about it, because complaining doesn't mean that you're going to get to where you need to go.
Mhm.
You gotta figure out the direction. And I mentor kids all the time and tell them, like, just try to figure it out. I will help you, but don't get stuck in this rut of woe is me, because no one's gonna come and save you.
Absolutely not.
And I learned that no one's gonna come and save you, because everyone has their own problems. Correct?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. So you dive into this. You have this great book called
My
Mom's Boyfriend.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking, but it's something that you have to talk to your kids about.
Yes.
So how hard was it to even write this book?
It was challenging more than hard, because I know I was entering into a avenue that's not welcomed. So it's not like I was writing a tell-all book, something that people was like, oh, she's about to write this good book and tell us all the juice. This was something I was actually going to make a change and make a lot of people uncomfortable. Unfortunately, the people that's doing the abusing are people that we know, love, and trust. So it happens in our home, is our moms, our dads, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, uncles, grandpas. It's always somebody that we know. So I knew me wanting people to educate their kids or educate the people around them would not be an easy task, because a lot of the abusers are people that we actually are in touch with. So that was the most challenging part, just knowing, like, I'm putting all of this blood, sweat, and tears hoping to make a change, and I'm going to get rejection. I'm going to get people, kind of like fighting against it. And I've been experiencing that, but it's fueling me to keep going. It's like next month is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, April is. And I have a whole month full of amazing things to help educate both adults and children. So it's just like every opportunity that I get, I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to let anyone make me feel like I should not be talking about this, because that's the only way we're going to change is through education and awareness.
Wow. So tell me what's coming up for you next month, so people out there will look for you, because, you're such an inspiring woman, and I know there's a lot of women out there that's like, okay, I want to know who this person is. I want to follow this person. First of all, what are your handles? What events are you having next month, so people can go and actually hear you speak and be part of what you're doing?
On my personal page is The Real Theresa Bowe, spelled all the way out, my whole entire name with the real in front of it. But there you'll find everything that I do when it comes to my real estate career, when it comes to all of my nonprofit organizations, when it comes to every event that I'm a part of, you will find it on my personal page. But April, like I said, this happened once a year, just like how this beautiful month is all about us women. Next month is about child abuse prevention. And guys, it's so important. When I grew up in school, we was introduced to the DARE program, students with the drugs, and we also had the
Yes.
firefighters coming in, stop, drop, and roll. I remember how to stop, drop,
Yes.
so good, right? But when you think about, there's 90,000 burn victims per year, but the school system will bring the firefighters in to teach us that, and I understand, and I was very appreciative. But now we're in a community where there's 700,000 kids every single year that's abused. Now, when I say abuse is not all sexually abused, there's several different forms of child abuse. So when it comes to child abuse, when you think about 700,000 kids per year versus 90,000 kids for burn victims, it's just, I want to do a better job at the schools, understanding that if we talk to children at a young age, they will know what to do, and we can actually prevent child abuse from happening, because we get abused as children because we don't know any better. No one teaches us what to do, who to talk to. If someone does something, we have no rules or nothing. We get no knowledge. No one wants to talk about it. So next month, guys, April, please join forces with anybody. There's so many people around us that have been abused that don't have the strength right now to even talk about it. And when I tell you, that was my healing, being able to sit amongst other adults and realize I was not the only one. I thought I did something wrong. I thought it was my fault. I thought it was all about Theresa doing something wrong, but I realized I did nothing wrong, and it was not my fault. Child safety is an adult's job. It wasn't my job as a child to educate myself and know what to do.
I mean, you are so right, because there's a lot of scared babies out there that don't know what to do, because what happens is when you're little and this is the household that sometimes you think this is normal. Sometimes you think this is what other households go through. So unless people like you who are passionate about it and who's been there can go to these schools and have these administrators actually have programs to talk about this, you will have an amazing impact in how many lives that you will save from a child that's being abused. Because you are right, school really doesn't really touch on abuse. They'll touch on things that happen outside of the home, like, fire safety, police. Like my kid's school, the police came, to the school to talk about, safety, and just following law and order. And you know what? The school should talk about, child abuse, and having someone come in and just speak about it and let them know.
Think about this. I'm sorry to cut you off, but as you say this, it's up to the adults to make that decision. And a lot of times the decisions come from the administrators and the parents. So the parents have to be okay with someone coming in and actually educating the kids. But what did I just remind everybody on this call? The abusers are adults.
Or your family. It could be a family or a close loved one.
That's my point. So when it comes to adults coming together to pretty much put it into something that they are the reason it's happening, is not as easy as we all think. I feel like I'm alone in this journey. When I tell you, it's like every day I'm doing this, and just the pullback and the resistance, I'm in shock. But I know there's going to be somebody out there. I'm going to get a breakthrough.
Well, let me tell you. First of all, Theresa, I don't want you to stop. Second of all, 1 out of 4 child is abused. So that adult that you might be going to and saying, hey, we need this program, you never know what's going on in their household. You never know. Like, they're like, oh, I don't want this program because it might spotlight something that I'm doing, that I'm an adult and I know I'm doing wrong, but the guilt might be there. Or, it's like ignorance is bliss. Let's not tell these kids about this, because some adults do want to continue this very bad behavior.
I'm manifesting this on your show.
Yeah,
that there will be a breakthrough in 2022. I'm going to make extreme strides. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Someone's going to hear it. Someone's going to step up. Someone's going to put me in the right position to do what I need to do to change the lives of many. So it's just like, I know it wasn't going to be easy when I stepped into this. I don't expect it to get easier tomorrow, but I just know with diligence and just the determination and the support of women like you that will allow me to come on their platform and to talk about this. We could be talking about a lot of other things now. I have a lot of things going on, but look at what you chose to focus on today. That's a true blessing. So I appreciate you for that.
Well, you know why? Because I know of people also who have been in that situation of molested, have been actually molested. And it's like this dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about. Another little dirty little secret no one wants to talk about is, human trafficking. Nobody wants to talk about it. But I remember when I was growing up, I used to have like the milk container with missing children on the milk container all the time. And I used to ask my mom, like, where are these kids? Like, why are there so many different kids that are missing? So I think that it's time to like take the Band-Aid off and talk about real serious issues that concern our children, and not be afraid to talk about things because you feel that they're naive. These kids these days are not naive. They are smarter than some adults in this world. And we have to prepare our children to be successful in this life and not treat them like little babies that don't understand what's going on. They're on the iPad 24/7, it seems. If you don't explain it, they'll go right to Google because they know how to spell, they know how to do a sentence, and they'll get the information from there. So where do you want the information to come from? You want it to come from a platform or the parent?
Correct. When I actually came out about being abused as a child, my daughter was 3 years old at the time. I actually set my children down. I did not know I was even supposed to educate them at this point. So now I'm learning, because my mom didn't know she was supposed to educate me. In turn, I did not know I was supposed to educate my own children. So I sat down with both of my kids. One was 3, the other one was 7. And both of them understood immediately what to do in the event someone tried to touch them inappropriately. So for everyone that's listening to this, you have to teach your kids about secrets, good secrets and bad secrets. There's 2 different types of secrets. They need to know the difference and how to exercise those 2 things. They also need to know about their boundaries. If they're playing with another child and a child tells them to stop, we need to let them understand stop means stop, no means no. Teach them their boundaries. And we also have to remind them to speak up. I mean, when I tell you so many children are silenced, and that's what my book is about. Susie lost her voice because she kept a secret that she should not have kept. And once someone knows the power of their voice and that they should speak up if someone does not believe them, there's so many other people you can trust to talk to and to tell. If your kids know those basic fundamentals, their life will be different. The trajectory of their future will be different. And it's up to us, like I said, as adults, anyone that's listening to this, educate your children. Educate your nieces, educate your friends' children. It's super important for us to do that.
Theresa, I just want to say, I just have goosebumps running through my body right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to have that breakthrough this year in 2022. I feel it in my bones. I feel like just you talking about it is giving me shivers. And that is the answer that you need to have. I'm giving it to you right now. If I am the conductor, if I am the person that's supposed to give you that message, I am telling you right now, you keep pushing, you keep going for it, because this is an area that needs to be talked about more. And if you're going to be that spokesperson that puts the highlight on this area of child abuse, which includes molestation, then let you be that person. And I'm here to tell you right now that you will. I'll say it on my show right now. You will be that person.
In Jesus' name.
I have to say amen to that. But I know you have so many hats, but I appreciate you coming on. I'm proud of you, sis. I have the great appreciation of giving you your flowers. You are super amazing, and you are going to change this world. I promise you that. You are going to change this world. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I'm proud of you, sis. And I want you back because you have so many other things that you're doing for your community. I mean, you are a breath of fresh air. Theresa, thank you so much for coming on. I'm proud of you, sis. And I can't wait to be part of this movement with you. Thank you.
Miss Danni, I want to tell you that I'm proud of you, sis.
Thank you so much, Theresa. Thank you. And I can't wait for you to come back on again. And please, if you have any speaking engagements, especially with child abuse, because I teach my kids, I teach my kids not to tell me every secret. I don't really believe there's a good and there's a bad secret, in my opinion. I want my kids, but I don't care. You tell me everything.
So if your husband is planning you a birthday party and he don't want your kids to tell you, that's not a good secret to you.
Yeah, you know what? That is a good secret. That is a good secret. Okay. Yes,
So
that is a good secret. So I get what you're saying. So thank you for explaining. But then we have to teach our babies the difference of what is a good secret versus what's a bad secret. Because when you're little, you might not have the know-it-all, because an adult will trick you and say, this is a good secret to keep. Don't tell mommy or daddy. You know,
that's where they come into play. Like, we can give so many different scenarios to our children. Like you said, they're sponges, they're smart, they'll get it.
Yeah.
We give them the examples of the good secrets, and we give them examples of bad secrets, and we just filter it in between.
Yes. I you know what? Amen to that. And thank you for coming on. I'm proud of you, sis. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. And have a great day. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.